Hello friends, in this video I'm going to talk about middleware in Python Django. Well, the name itself says that it is supposed to work in between something. And what do I mean by in between? Well, let me show you the custom middleware which I have created. And here it comes. Well, by default, whenever you are working on Django, Django will provide you the following series of middleware. These are something provided to you by default. But I have created one custom middleware which is right over here. So this is my app name accounts. As you can see over here, inside that I have a file called middleware, as you can see right over here, and that is giving a call to a class called restricted access middleware. Let me open the file over here. So this is a class that I have created in context to middleware. Well, let me execute the middleware first, and then it will be easy for you to understand what I'm doing right over here. So let me start my server. So python manage.py run server. The moment I will hit the server, you will see that this particular line will get called immediately, that is middleware initialized automatically. So let me show you that. As I hit the enter, and here it comes. Look over here, right? Just now this particular line you saw in the middleware itself. So middleware initialized. So that means middleware already started working. And how it is working? Because I have registered this inside the settings.py. Now let's come to the browser and let me hit the enter over here, and the moment I will do this, immediately we'll see this particular line is getting executed. Middleware call from the path, and this is also coming right from this particular line. Don't worry, I will explain this whole thing one by one. And over here, look, a particular route is there that is called special offer, and if I try to access this, it will say restricted, access restricted, because this service is temporarily unavailable between 12 to 13, and right now it is 12.59, and very soon it will become 13, and after 13 this particular service will be activated by default. So that means what? When all the other routes are working smoothly, a particular route has been restricted, and that is what I wanted. That means in an application, a certain route, if you want to stop based on some condition, like I have taken in context in condition of the time, in that case this particular route is unavailable. You are unable to say anything in context of that. But if you go to the other routes, they are all working perfectly fine. So this route will be available the moment the time elapses, and the time is in between 12 to 13 as we saw in the code. So it is between 12 to 13. In between this time span, this particular route is not available. So as you can see right over here, if I go back, even now also other routes are opening, but this particular route is restricted. Okay, we have to wait till this particular time span gets elapsed, and it is 13, and after 13 the following route is going to work, and right now it is 1 p.m. I hope now this particular route should work. Let me click over here, bingo, and here it comes. As you can see, a few minutes ago this particular route was not working, but now this route is available. And let me take you to the inside story of how middleware is working. So here it comes. Whenever you are creating a middleware, this is a class based middleware. Here I have created one list, and where I mentioned that particular route which I want to restrict. So you can make a list, and in context to my application, I wanted to like restrict the user from accessing a particular route. For that reason, I have written the route over here. And now what happened? When the system starts, by default you have to set your middleware inside the middleware list, like what I have done over here. Because of this reason, whenever you are sending a request to the server, by default the middleware will be called every time, right? But it will be initialized only for the first time, and thereafter this underscore call underscore this method will be called each request that you are sending. Let me show you once again, and right now my application is working. Let it be fine, no problem with that. Let me stop the server over here, and let me clear the screen. Let me run the application once again. As I do that, okay, before I start the application, let me run the application once again. The page will not be fine. Yeah, the site is disabled. Now let me start the server. As you can see, immediately the middleware got executed. So that means the way the system works is, whenever you have written a middleware, you have to set the middleware inside this list. What Django does is, it will scan all the middleware from top to bottom, and when it will come to your custom middleware, that also get executed. So first thing that Django will do is, it will execute the init method will get called. So whatever initialization it has to do, it will do it. Now while it is doing the initialization, look over here, it has got two parameters. One is called self, the current object, and the other one is called get response. That means the response that you have given in the browser, like I have given the response called localhost colon 8000 and whatever URL you have provided, that would be the response that comes right over here, and it gets settled down over here so that the rest of the other function can make use of this response, like you can see over here. I will come to this line very soon. So for that reason, this particular print statement get executed immediately when the application started, and as you can see over here, the middleware has been initialized. This portion is all done. Okay, so now what happened? Okay, it already got executed this one. So let me do one thing. Let me stop the server once again. Let me clear the screen and let me close a tab. Let me open a new tab. Let me close it so that I can show you that the initialization will be taking place for the first time. Here it comes. The application started, and look over here, no route has been specified, but my server is on. So the moment the server is on, immediately your the middleware which you have created, that will get called by the help of underscore underscore init. So this is getting called initially, and whatever statement you have written, whatever execution you have written, that will get fired. And since you didn't provide any route yet, that's the reason this initialization is still pending. But definitely whatever initialization you will do, whatever route you will specify, that will get stored and that will be executed by this particular object, get response. Okay, so this particular object will be initialized the moment you will provide the data in the form of URL. So now when I will be providing the URL over here, suppose localhost colon 8000 slash and accounts slash accounts and whatever, if I write this slash account and this much only, as I hit the enter, the moment I do that, look over here, the route has been activated. That is saying the middleware call the path slash account slash. So this is the route that you can see over here, and even it's showing the date and the timestamp as well. So if you come to the code over here, that means whenever you are providing any request in the URL, by default this particular method gets invoked every time. Please follow this line very minutely. Each request that you are sending to the browser that goes to the server, eventually this particular method gets called, and that is called the request phase. So when you are working with the middleware, there is a request phase, and that request phase is been taken care of by underscore underscore call underscore underscore. So this is a dunder method that gets invoked, and because of that reason you can see the incoming request is right over here, and it is showing the path, even which particular like where from the request came and what is the timestamp, and here I've given a call to the date time. So for that reason you are able to see the timestamp now. And then what I'm doing is that I'm picking out the current hour. So that hour I'm picking right over here. So let me do one thing. That is, I will be okay, let me explain this code and then I will modify the date time. So the current hour right now is 1 p.m. right? As you can see, that is 13. So the current hour is 13, and I create a couple of variables over here. I said the restricted time would start from 12 and it would end at 13. And what I'm doing a condition checking over here, that if the request.path is in the requested path, yes. Now if I go and click on this route, then definitely it's a requested path because it's slash category. So it is falling under this particular list slash category, as you can see right over here, slash category. It is inside the requested path. And then I'm going for another checking that what is the current hour. The current hour is 13. If the current hour is greater than the restricted time, well, this is right now 12, that is perfectly fine, but the restricted end time, it should be less than that, and it is 13, so it is not falling in this criteria. Hence whatever request I will be making, that will get executed. Since this condition is false, so whatever incoming request I will provide with the help of get underscore response and the incoming request, that all get executed successfully. And because of that reason, you can see it has been navigating smoothly and there is no problem, everything is working very fine. But the moment I will apply the condition, so let's come over here and let me apply the condition. I'm saying that if the start time is 13 and if the end time is 14, then there is a problem. Now how the problem is, well, the route is inside this list, perfectly fine. Well, some route will not be in the list. In that case, this condition is going to be false, and usually this if return statement will work, that means it will be able to navigate other routes. Let me run the application. Let me stop the server once and let me show you once again. Let me clear the screen and let me start the application right over here. As you can see, the middleware got initialized. And let me click on this route. This route is not in the list. Everything is working fine. Same go this one also, all are working fine. But the moment when I will click on the special offer, this route is now restricted. Why? Because as you can see over here, It's in the list of the restricted route. That means the current route is in the list of the restricted route. And now I'm checking what is the current time. The current time is 13, right? 1 p.m. is 13, and the start time is 13. Very good. And the end time is 14. So current time should be less than the start time. That is perfectly fine because it's 13 and it is 13 hours and 7 minutes. So this is less than the current time, but the current hour is less even in context to the restricted end. The restricted end is 14, that would be 2 p.m. So 1 p.m. is less than the 2 p.m. but 13 hours and 7 minutes is more than the 13 hours. So this condition is now getting true. In that case, what I'm doing is that I'm sending the request directly to a template folder that is called customer. Right over here I have a customer, and that customer has an HTML page, restricted.html, and here is the page. If I open, this is the page which I have created. The response directly goes to this particular page, and here I have got two string variables, start time and end time. As you can see right over here, the start time and the end time, these two times are been shown, and because of that reason you are seeing the restriction. Hence that particular route is preventing the flow from in this context it is not going to the other routes. But if the condition is false, in that case other routes which are free, which are not in this particular list, they are having no problem. And that's the reason why the moment when you click on this, it has been shown restricted. But if you click on the other routes, since they are not in the list, as you can see over here, since they are not in the list, so they are not falling in this particular condition, hence the navigation is taking place smoothly. So with the help of middleware, what we achieve is it is checking conditions in context to every request. That means every request that you are sending, it is checking, and if it is falling under a particular condition, then it is working. Okay, so that's the reason why middleware need to be configured inside the settings.py file inside the middleware list, so that it can do the checking right with every request that you are sending to the server. Not only that, it can also go for backtracking. That means the response that is coming from here, the response that you are getting, if you want, you can further verify that response, and according to that you can provide further. But that is not what I'm doing over here, because I'm sending the response directly to a template. Henceforth the backtracking is not taking place, but still top to bottom approach is happening, because it is executing from the top all the middleware, and then eventually it is coming to the middleware which I have said. So it's like a top to bottom approach is taking place. Okay, and as I said that those route which are not in the list, in that case if condition is not working for them, in that case the get response is getting fired, because of which the other routes are also getting opened actively. There is no problem with that. Okay, and as you can see right over here, it is restricted because it is in the restriction would be from 13 to 14 hours. That means from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. the restriction would be. But let me lift the restriction so that it makes sense to you. So that if I say that it would have started from 10 o'clock in the morning, from the 10 o'clock, and it should have been till 12 o'clock, that means it is not falling in the range. Henceforth, if I run the co-application now, you will be able to see the special offer route that is getting open right now, which was restricted a few minutes ago. Now it is working without any problem. Okay, so that's how the middleware can solve a very important task, where it is in between request and response, and it is going to validate every incoming request that is going to the server, and according to the restriction or according to the functionality what you're providing forward, the middleware will do it work. Okay, so it is a very important topic in context to verifications or authorization, and as we said that system has already given up these kind of middleware. In my upcoming videos I will definitely talk about few more about the incoming inbuilt middleware that are provided, but in this video I wanted to show you that how can you create your own custom middleware. Okay, so that's all from this video presentation. See you soon. Bye bye.